Would you like to have a blog that consistently and passively makes you money every single day, 24/7? Hi, my name is Michael from Viral Home Based Pursuits. In this video, I'm going to show you the complete blogging tutorial for beginners, and I'm going to go in depth, show you on screen how to start your first blog, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it easily so that way you can, by the end of this video, have your own blog up and running. Quite in fact, you can even follow along as I'm doing this. Just before I get started, though, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with videos like this on how to start your own blog, preferably more of a highly profitable one, how you can keep it growing and going long term, so that way you have an asset that you can carry forward and it could become a part of your legacy. That's really what I focus on. I want to make sure that you not only start one, but continuously go through it and push yourself to go forward, okay? Just a little quick story about me, and then I'll get on the screen here and I'll show you. I started blogging some years ago, and I started in the health and wellness space. I began with a back pain uh, website, and I spent a lot of time focusing on this site. In the beginning, it was a little tough because I would watch YouTube videos, go through different blogs online that I would find, and try to kind of indoctrinate, right? Bring that in and then do what they were doing, model what they were doing, not copy, but model. But a lot of the times, what I kept on seeing was a lot of the stuff from the beginning and then to the end. It was never everything in between. And when it was, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't until I figured out that I couldn't grow a free website without my own domain. I wasn't getting the traffic that I needed. I would put content on it, but nothing was happening. It wasn't ranking well in Google, and I kept having problems. And I knew it was because I was following different videos who would eventually lead me to like buy a 997 course. I didn't do it, but they would get me to want to do it. And that's not something you need, whether you're on a budget or not. I mean, this is something that is going to help you get into it the way you need to. And that's why I'm here to show you this. And very quickly, though, before I get started, just so you know, I created a very big and helpful challenge. It's called the One Blog Post Away Challenge. For 30 days, I walk you through step by step, and I walk you through easily how to set up your own blog. But it's not like in any other, in like kind of like any way you've heard of. You've maybe seen challenges out there, you've gone through courses or seen them, or maybe you're reading blog posts and you're like, well, what's different? Well, with this, what it does is it walks you through in the beginning the mindset. I walk you through, I show you on video, and then I could get on screen too. I'll show you that in those videos, and I show you the mindset behind it all. How do you have belief? How do you let go of your fears? And all of this so you can do this long term. Not a lot of people actually show you this. And within this challenge at the beginning, I show you a lot of that. And then we start developing into, even before you get to a website, I start developing you into understanding what email lists are, how to get your email list to grow, um, different examples out there. I go through my websites. I don't hold back on that. I'll show you that, plus more funnels and everything, Facebook, social media, YouTube, and things like that. So make sure you check that out. I'll leave it down below in the description for you to take a look at that. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to, make sure you do that. Hit the bell notification. Leave me a comment if you would like to. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me get on the share screen here. And as you can see, that was one of my websites. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is the whiteboard. And I kind of want to just give you a good little frame of mind so that you know what to expect when you're getting into blogging, and then I can show you how that looks. So really, when you're going to get into the blogging world, you need to have a couple questions already answered, right? You need to just have a couple things figured out. And these are really the things that I go through before I even start a blog. Might not have crossed your mind. I know a lot of people don't show you this, um, but I do. I want to get to the bottom of it and show you what you need, right? So really, you need to understand just how who you're going to be targeting, right? You got to have a great understanding of who your actual dream customer is, who is it you're targeting, who is it that you're speaking to, men over 50 with back pain issues, men over 50 with arthritis, whatever your niche is you're going into, because it'll make everything a whole bunch more easier when you're actually blogging. And this is stuff that I show you in the one blog post away challenge. So you really got to know who you're speaking to. You got to know things like where is your audience already gathering their information from, because you're in this red ocean. You're likely going to go into a niche where it's a red ocean, which is good, meaning that there's a lot of people who are in competition in there. But what you need to know is you got to create your own niche where you're talking to people who are in this red ocean getting information, and then you pull them towards what's called your blue ocean. It's a blue ocean strategy where they're not getting their needs met from anybody else but you. And so when you can be the person they come to, they can confine on and come to and lay their head and rest on and say, you are going to be the one who actually helps them solve their problems at the end of the day. That can translate into leads and can translate into sales eventually. So you need to understand those two, who, where. And in between, this kind of comes in with understanding your products. You'll get that in between, but I can only talk about it so much in a video like this. So make sure you check out the one blog post away challenge for that. So number three, you just really have to uh, learn how to have a unique selling point, right? Or a unique point of differentiation. It could be a way that uh, sets you apart from the competition. What do you do differently? What do you offer your audience that everybody else can't offer them? Um, and how do you stand out? Why should people come to you instead of competition? Okay. And then number four, I would say just having this one, I would have story. It could be one of the very first ones, but when you're getting into your blogging, you want to know this, you want to have a story, right? So people gravitate towards you and you can build a relationship with them on a long-term basis. Because if you do not do this, then people will likely, they can buy from you, but it won't be as consistent. And people buy from people, not the product itself. You are your actual brand. So what keeps people coming back to you is you, and that's your brand, your personality is what draws them to you, right? That's how you can get people that are raving fans, that you can have this massive movement with people. And if you want to understand that more, there's a free script you can get for a story and a free book as well. I'll leave a link to down below. So now let's go ahead and jump into this here. So I could have started a new website with you, but I want to do this a little bit differently. You've probably been seeing other videos on YouTube, how they start you from, you need to get a domain, you need to get, um, you need to have your niche, you need to get your domain, then you get your hosting that comes along with that, and then you can start putting content on it, and then you can start making money, right? That's like the framework that people give you. It's like always that same 4-step framework. Make sure you choose a niche that's going to work for you. Number two, then you do your domain and hosting. Then you go into creating, the back office, but then you do the content, you put your posts, publish, and then after you publish, let's see if all the traffic comes in, right? That's kind of more or less what people want you to do. And that's nothing wrong with that, okay? There isn't a thing that I can say that's bad about it, but it's too general, right? Nowadays with blogging, if you want to have a huge amount of traffic coming to your site, if you want to have more of an impact, if you want to have more sales, right, you can determine that from the beginning, people, when they come into your post to read it, they turn into sales or they turn into leads. You have the conversion metric that you want on each of those posts and pages, then you need to do things a little bit differently. Okay. So now we're in my WordPress back office on one of my sites, which is Remove Backpain, as I shared with you in the beginning of this video. So when you create your own website, right, you are going to have those 4 steps I just showed you. So kind of like the first one we talked about, having the niche, kind of disregarded that. And for niche, then you can go into like the domain and hosting, which is what comes after. And then number 3, we'll have like creating the content, right? And then number 4, after you've published, you get the traffic. It's basically what you've been told to do, right? But so many people get confused with this framework at times because it's like you don't have everything in between, right? You're like, how do I pick a niche? Am I choosing the right one? And then from getting to step 1 to step 2, it's a long, it could be even daunting at the beginning. I give away blueprints on how to begin your blogging niche. I'll leave down below. It's also inside of the One Blog Post Away challenge. It's very nicely put together and it's very well thought out. And so that's in there. Number 2 is domain and hosting. There's so many different things you can go in here, but for the reason though, I don't want to just tell you to choose one certain package. I break this down also in the One Blog Post Away and my free blogging course stuff. But there's so many different places, like people will tell you go to Bluehost, right? And so it's Bluehost, and then you can go get your domain through them and get your hosting, right? Free domain name for the first year, free SSL certificate included, one-click WordPress install, 24/7 support, starting at $395 per month US. But that's a little tricky because this amount will add up over time. I don't really recommend Bluehost 100% because the additional costs per year start to grow and you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars just on that. They don't tell you that. But it's because if you're just a beginner, right, and you're not taking it serious, then maybe it's a good entrance point, but eventually you'll likely end up moving. There are different domain and hosting providers. You can go to like SiteGround. Right, SiteGround is the one that I recommend above all others. There's WPX Engine. There's Big Scoots. It's a good one too. There's even HostGator. One that I use most often, it's called Wealthy Affiliate. And as a blogger, there's this thing called affiliate marketing. I don't know if you're aware of that, but basically it's where you get this product from somebody who's already created the product, so you don't have to actually own it yourself, and then you can promote it to people who are likely to want to buy it. So you match people who are searching for that product or who have problems, and you can align them with that product. And then once they click on what's called an affiliate link that you get from, let's say, somebody like Amazon, if you're trying to take people to Amazon, you get a link, they click on that, right? And then they get taken over to Amazon where they can make the purchase on that product, which is pretty cool. And there's so many different affiliate networks out there, so many to choose from, but that's stuff that I help you out with in time. But that's affiliate marketing in a nutshell. You can earn with ads, courses, membership sites, anything else. There's so much more you can do with it, but affiliate marketing is one great way to earn an income doing it, and it's one of my primary ways of doing it. So I use Wealthy Affiliate, and that brings me to my point that Wealthy Affiliate is an affiliate marketing platform where you will get step-by-step easy affiliate marketing training on how to create a blog as well. But I go more in depth also within my One Blog Post Away, things that you need to know that's most current. Also, it's in there. But this is also a great way to get in because it's built on a community, gives you training to how to start your blog within your own niche, or you can promote things like in the make money online industry. You get a research tool so you can have as much access to search what people are typing in on Google and how you can create content around that. And that's in addition to that, which means you'll be able to get as much traffic as you need to come into your post instead of your competitors, because you're actually doing the right type of research. Which brings me to that point. Like, without keyword research, okay, you're just blogging to blog. You're just blogging about yourself. It's going to be me, me, me. And while there's times where that's a good thing, I'm not saying to go completely away from that. You have to make it about the person that you're trying to help, right? They're interested in how you can help them solve their problem. They're not interested so much in you all the time, what you can get out of it, it's what they can get out of it. So you got to keep your reader in mind whenever you're creating content. So let's say after we've already established that we want our hosting and provide our domain and hosting, right? We've chosen our niche, right? Let's say, for example, we might want to do something on, can be anything, joint pain for men over 50 with arthritis pain, right? So that's very narrowed, right? And I won't spend too much time on market research and stuff like that, but there are 3 core markets: health and wellness, dating and relationships, and make money online. And there's sub niches to that. So like for health and wellness, it's going to be nutrition, but then your niche needs to get narrowed down even more. So nutrition, um, keto nutrition, or people trying to lose weight over the age of 50 or something like that, right? That would be your niche that you go into. Domain and hosting, we covered that already. There are different providers like Big Scoots. Then you have SiteGround, WPX Engine, DreamHost. You have HostGator, Bluehost, Wealthy Affiliates, which is one that I recommend you use because it has a huge bandwidth, which means you're going to get as much traffic as you need to without having to worry about upgrading to more services and more upsells. It's very fast. It's state of the art. It's one of the fastest ones out there, and they're very prideful on that. And that's what I love about them. And you're on their server, so you don't have to actually have a cPanel, right? I know the technical difficulties it can be to use cPanel. I've done that. I did that for a while, and I still do at times. You can even have sites here and sites in other places, but this is a great place to host your site because it's fast, and if that way you can have more higher spots in Google, which means you'll be able to have those spots long term, right? Because mobile and desktop, it's the experience, user experience is very important. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing that. So number 3, content. And back to number 2 really quick, if you want to know more about domain and hosting, I actually have a separate video on that I'll link to down below. You can go ahead and check that out. You can get your free websites, especially with Wealthy Affiliates. I'll leave a link to that, and you can read more about it and take me up on all my free bonuses that I give you. And those are only given to you for a limited time. So I would get in there, check them out to make sure they're still available. And if they are, get them while you can, because I do take them away. Because some people, they don't take advantage of them when they know that something's good there. They'll look at it and maybe they do, maybe they don't take it. Right, that's on you there. And so number 3 being the content. So now we're in the WordPress back office. So between domain and hosting here, there's a gap, right? During this time, you're putting your cPanel together if you're in a different hosting provider other than Wealthy Affiliate. You're going through and putting all the plugins in, right? Making sure the back office here looks nice. You're putting your all-in-one SEO. And in case you want me to show you how I set up a actual website from scratch, I have videos on that. But like I said in the beginning, I'm doing this a little different. So if you want to actually watch that video, I have that. I'll link to it down below, where I actually go through Wealthy Affiliates. You can create a free website or in other places. Then you can start setting up your all-in-one SEO, Yoast SEO, Rank Math, whatever that is. And you go through your general settings, your XML sitemap. I cover this in the courses as well in a separate video. But basically, you're going to have your all-in-one SEOs, what you can start off with. And with Wealthy Affiliate, the great thing about them is they take away the effort and the headaches and all the pain and extra energy that it takes to figure out what plugins you actually need from the beginning and ones that you would need getting to move forward. So they actually have recommendations already. And once you get through one of their sites, all you have to do is activate the plugins like all-in-one SEO. They have Kraken, the image optimizing plugin, which is like the best one out there. So they give it to you for free as a member, as a premium member, I believe it is. You could even get on the basic with Wealthy Affiliate, try it out for free, but I highly encourage you to go premium. Plus, I'm always in there to give you the support that you need and show you how this is actually done, not from people who just like you join under and it just doesn't, like they don't have the knowledge in it. I've been around for a long time, not only building SEO websites, but also with funnels, with coaching and consulting, going through various different platforms and programs to understand them all, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, all of them. And what I do on a daily basis, I'm going to go ahead and hand all these things over to you. I'm going to show you how nice that you can get this, especially like growing a site in the health and wellness space, getting loads of traffic per day. How did I get there when, with all these algorithms and changes, how am I still doing it? And then with other sites as well. Show you how to really become an authority. And so we have the all-in-one SEO plugin that's done, and then we have the posts page, media pages, and then I added some more plugins, which is the testimonials, Thrive Light boxes. I use a theme called Thrive Themes, and there's many different themes you can choose from. When you're starting out, you can have a free one, a free version. You can just add in from Wealthy Affiliate too. They allow you that. And then over time, if you want to pay for one, which I recommend you do, because a lot of these people, they put a lot of work into their themes, and it's always nice to have that, to always like be respectful of that and say, okay, I care about the type of work they put out. So it's not about money, it's an investment. When you look at it like that, look at it as an investment. It's not just sunk cost that you are not going to get in return. Think about it as an opportunity cost, right? Kind of like energy flows one way, it's going to flow the other way. To be able to get out from one side, like entropy from thermodynamics. Right? Think about it. Energy flows, positivity flows if you continue to do that. And then, so all this is here, the plugins, users, tools, settings, rich snippets. So basically, once you have everything activated, right, you have your analytics up, you have your XML sitemap, which you will put into a place called Google Search Console, and that will be able to track your stats or your performance of your website, what keywords are popping up, new ones, how to figure out how to add when you submit more URLs. After you're done publishing posts, you submit them so it's faster, so it can get ranked faster and viewed by Google, the Google bots. This is stuff for another video, though. This is not what I want to cover in this one. Everything I'm like not getting as specific into, and I've told you I have it in other courses. I go more specific into that. And so that is that. And so with that said, let's get into the fun stuff here and let's transition into keywords. So if you're searching up a keyword in a niche like joint pain, right? Like I can type in the words joint pain 4 with my keyword research tool, or if you're just starting out too, what you can do is use the Google Auto Suggest. So if I type in joint pain, then I can have more, it's called the alphabet soup. So I can start putting A, B, C, and then seeing what drop down related searches I'm getting. And these related searches is what people are typing into Google. So it gives you a rough idea, rough estimate of what to write your articles around. So what you can do, it's like somebody's looking for joint pain protein. You can even take that even further, right? And there are many techniques to this alphabet soup, right, that you will learn over time. This is just one of the many. Joint pain and high protein in blood. So people are searching for these kind of things. And then you can kind of go through here. You have related search queries too. And then you can start gathering research about this, clicking through, seeing what your competitors are doing, or run these kind of keywords, right? You can control copy this, take it in. I use Jaxie here, just so you know the name, as you can see it. And it's a great keyword research tool to use. It's one that I prefer over many of them, like Longtail Pro, Market Samurai, and a whole bunch of other ones that I won't get into in this video. But then you can go ahead and research here from this drop down that you get. You can start searching here, the keyword, the average amount of searches they're getting for each keyword, boost in high protein, joint pain and fatigue. We can even click there and go even another layer. What causes joint pain and fatigue? Average people 56, traffic 10 people per month. But if your site is just starting out, that is not a bad keyword to target because your site doesn't have authority. And if you're trying to go for these competitive keywords like joint pain, right? If you type in joint pain here, yes, it gives you a lot of average searches and traffic per month, but the KQI, which is the amount of competing websites, is 219, which is normal, which is okay for a site that's more mature. But if you're just starting out as a beginner, which is what this video is for, then that's not a keyword you'd likely want to go after. So the advantages, the pros of having something like Jaxi, it tells you the amount of competing websites, which is if you have a brand new site, then it's good to start off with something that is called a low-hanging fruit, which is go for average searches that may be less, traffic that's less, maybe over 30 on each, but has a less amount of a competing website. So something from like 0 to 20, less than 10 is great if you find something like that and write about it. So this means people, your competition, they're likely going over that and they're not bothering with it, but it's still very impactful, and you can use those words as leverage, those keywords as leverage, excuse me, and you can move forward with them. And it's called like long tail keywords, joint pain for blank, blank, blank. See how that's more long tail and that's more narrowed, so that you can reach a certain group of people and speak to them as individuals, right? Speaking to a group of people, but you're really wanting to speak to one person at a time within your blog post. So if we do something like, let's say I found a keyword here and we're going to go through one of my posts. So we'll go through my post section. And if you're asking me where do I create my content, you can use something like Google Docs. I can even use Word. I like using Google Docs a lot because then I can just transfer my work from there over to WordPress. Or if you're using something like Thrive Themes, a different theme builder, then you might use it. You can use it the same way too. And there's little things we can do in between from there. So something like my post here, which is in draft right now. This is which foods contain fibrin. I haven't gotten to this yet because I was doing other ones. But really what I did was I took the keyword that I wanted to write about, and I did this after doing very diligent and very detailed keyword research, which is what you're going to learn. Not in this video exactly. You can learn it in the One Blog Post Away Challenge and within my courses. Make sure you check that out because I go more in depth on each part of the framework. So niche, domain, keyword research stuff, content, how do you earn the traffic, different ways of earning traffic. Each of those framework steps, I break it down and I go into the tactics of it. Can't cover it all in one video, right? I'd be here for hours, and you've seen other videos that are there for hours, but they don't show you like the chunk of it all, and it's not as current. Okay, so which foods contain fibrin, and then I can write it here from the actual WordPress editor, right? And every single, kind of keep this part as short. I go more in depth in it in other areas, but heading 1. So we want to have actually the introduction. And then we can have something like the H2s, an H2 here, and then we might have a H3 headline underneath that one, and then maybe another H3 headline, and moving into H2 again, and then we have our conclusion. Just because I'm doing this now, I mean, you can do this. Actually take more time to do it in the other videos. But here, basically, you have an introduction, you have the body paragraphs, and you have H2 headings, H2 headings with H3s, and then conclusions. It just depends on how much or what it is you're writing about. So if you have more H2 headlines, which are bigger than H3s, you can do that. Something like, what is fibrin? What is going inside a Firebrand. It can be something like that where this might contain my actual keyword. And we don't want to do keyword stuffing too much. So I always get asked, so if I find a keyword with Jaxer with any other kind of research tool or the keyword that I'm going for, so how should I continue to put the related search queries in there, or should I just target that one keyword? My saying to it is just target that one keyword you're going after, because what will then end up happening is your Google Search Console will start showing up for more relevant searches, and then you can start plugging more of those keywords in. It doesn't hurt to put different keywords in, but you want to shoot for that one keyword because that's what you're telling in your article. Look, this is the keyword I mainly want to rank for. But nowadays it's like Google's really, really good at looking at your page, and it's going to see, okay, it has multiple keywords. Let's rank them for more than one. And that's what's going to end up happening these days. You're going to end up ranking for more than one keyword. So just try to aim for one at a time is what I say. And then as you start uncovering more words, then you can start plugging them into your content as you go from there. So H2, going inside a Firebrand, we might even go further in here and start talking about and showing more about what Firebrand is. How painful is Firebrand? How to get rid of Firebrand. We might actually have an H2 here. There might be some pros and cons to this. You can also have a pros and cons section, and that's what leads me into what I like most about it. And then the conclusion, like the final thoughts, right? You might want to have some final thoughts on it. And then every single great post always has a call to action. So within your conclusion, you might have a call to action button. You likely will. So everything I do within a post, I always reverse engineer everything. So I want to know what is going to be my offer. What is it that I want them to take action on at the end of a post before I actually go into writing it? So it's always good to have that in mind, have that visualization already, where what you want to put at the end of your article, it's going to make the most sense. Like if you want them to go into your email list, you give them an email opt-in box, take them to another page, take them to a sales page from a review post, or sales page, or a how-to post to a review post. Depends on what it is you're trying to accomplish. Every single post will be different for each person. So introduction, right? You want to have an enticing hook. And if you want to learn more about how to write enticing hooks, I have videos on that, how to make captivating post headlines for your websites, and in other ways, how to use copywriting the correct way. So your hook needs to capture the person, it needs to be captivating, right? That's what you need within a post, is the hook, because the hook is what draws your reader in. If they don't get a curiosity within your first sentence, your first paragraph, they're not going to want to continue to read forward. They might just skim through it, but it's going to be boring to them. So something like, for example, really that kind of, I mean, I'm going at it a little bit quicker of a pace, but you know what I'm getting at. The first sentence then draws the person to the next sentence, and you want to always keep that in mind. Am I doing enough to keep the person flowing through my website? One method that I use a lot, it's called the SCARF technique, and it's basically meaning is it's shareable, right? Is it shareable? And there's many different parts to it that I have subcategories. Is it shareable content? Is it searchable content? Can I find it when I'm searching online? Is for the C, is it call to action based? Do you have a call to action? throughout your article. So you also want to keep that in mind. You might have in this body paragraph, you might have a call to action, and then we keep doing it throughout the post. Just depends on what it is you're writing, and at the end you want to make sure you have them. And then A, is it attention grabbing? Is it something that I look at? And it's also built with authority in mind, like you're the authority in it and you're speaking to people like that with that. And it gets people to take an action on it. It's also action based. The R standing for, is it readable? Can I go through the post without having trouble getting from word to word, paragraph to paragraph? Because if it's not, people are going to want to leave. And then you have something like F, findable again. Can I find it on Google? Is it something that it's SEO optimized for on-site, off-site? These are the things that you will learn in time how SEO works. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. It's most important too that you get your content created, mind flowing. Okay, so what I always recommend is get into a room where you're quiet, wake up early in the morning if you need to, and that's when it's the best time. That's when your mind is actually focused on doing the things you need to do, and it'll help you out the most. And that's what I do. So with that in mind, you're going to write a blog post together. And then if you're not done here, you can always press on save draft and then come back to it at a later time. Again, you can use Google Docs, copy from Google Docs and transfer it over here to your Thrive Architect, whatever builder, theme builder that is. Save it as a draft, come back to it, add more to it, get those final days of editing and then publishing it. Once you're done publishing it, you go to something like Google Search Console and you put your URL in there, right? You go to something like Google Search Console. Right, and then we will go in here and submit a URL, right? We can do a URL inspection. And with that post URL that we've been given, we can go ahead and inspect it so that Google can crawl it much faster instead of giving it more time so we can see it rank much faster. Okay, so that's kind of everything in this video up to this point. I'll kind of show you a finished product or a product in the process, right? I still have a lot to do, even though I've done a ton of blog posts on this, over hundreds and hundreds of them. But that's why it's something important that you choose a like passionate or an interested based, hobby based niche, even if it's not something you're an expert in. Something that you can learn over time and grow into. That's what I did. I learned about this as an interest, and then I grew into it over time. It's not like I chose it as a passion. I just had some experiences, and then I wanted to grow and help out other people with it as well. So this is kind of my site. This is one of the other ones that I have. This is my one of my first ones here that I started. And you know, you can see all my blog posts here are done. I'll kind of show you an example of one. Like this one here, can too much protein cause you to have joint pain. So this is my article here. And don't worry about all this if it seems a bit overwhelming. I'll help you out with this. And I always make sure that you have it set as it's conversion optimized. The whole point of it too, it's not just to put blogging content. You might have all those pieces together. You might know how to choose the right keywords. You've done the right market research before you put a post together. You know what your competition is writing about. So what actually gets the most attention with places like buzzsumo.com, finding out what to write about, how to write a better blog post than your competition if you have to. But that's one thing. And then it's another thing to actually write it and then also have it conversion optimized. It's got to be focused, and I'm going to help you focus and drill that down from the widgets to the content to everything in between, how to help you convert at the highest level people into leads so they can follow up with them, get sales, and there on out. So that's everything from me in this blogging tutorial for beginners. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave me a comment down below. I will make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget to check out the One Blog Post Away challenge. It will drastically change your life. If you don't want to spend the time making mistakes after mistakes, trying to figure that out on your own, going through videos, blogs, trying to figure out if you're going to even make money, is it going to even be profitable, your idea, is it going to work, is it not? If you're tired of contemplating it, if you don't want to fail, go through there. It's going to show you, it's like the biggest challenge for blogging out there. The amount of value I give you in there, it's unreal. It's a lot. I humbly go in there and I show you the ins and outs of every little step. All right. So that's everything from me. Check down below in the description for that. And I will talk to you later.